You try to look strong, but real power hides in quiet choices. Someone rises faster without noise because they control the inner tempo first. Listen closely, the shortest path to power is not what you chase. Most people chase attention, but attention without structure burns energy and time. They speak early, they promise quickly, and their posture leaks insecurity. Leaks invite pressure, and pressure exposes untrained reactions to skilled observers. You will not chase attention here, you will build gravity instead. Gravity means people lean toward you without being pulled by force. Gravity grows when your state stays stable, while theirs becomes turbulent. Stability feels rare, rarity suggests value, and value becomes voluntary authority. The foundation is state control before strategy display. If your state collapses, every tactic becomes decoration without backbone. You train baseline calm through breath, posture, and pace of words. Breath slows the internal clock, posture signals safety, pace projects certainty. Certainty does not mean stubbornness. Certainty means you hold standards under heat. Standards are the rails that keep power from derailing into noise. Without rails, momentum becomes chaos disguised as ambition. With rails, small moves compound into quiet dominance over time. Understand the difference between signal and display. Display is loud, temporary, and hungry for validation. Signal is subtle, durable, and anchored to principle. You will reduce displays and amplify signals. Signals look like calm boundary sentences and consistent follow-through. For example, you say what matters in few clear words. Then you protect those words with your actions without emotional leakage. People read the match between language and behavior as truth. Truth felt repeatedly becomes trust, and trust delivers power faster than charm. Learn the hidden economy of rhythm and frame. Rhythm controls nervous systems, frames control meaning. A manipulator speeds rhythm to shrink your thinking space. You will slow rhythm by breathing and pausing before any response. A manipulator hijacks frames to make you defend instead of define. You will set frames with simple structural phrases that redirect attention. Say, let us define the standard before we continue. Say what outcome will be measured at the end. Structure melts confusion, and confusion is where you used to lose. Practice linguistic minimalism during heat. Short sentences reduce hooks for reframing and baiting. The fewer loose words you offer, the fewer traps exist. Silence is not emptiness here. Silence is a controlled environment. Inside silence, others reveal motives while trying to fill the gap. You will listen for incentives, not explanations. Incentives reveal truth faster than eloquent speeches. Align with real incentives, or step away without drama. Stepping away calmly increases perceived value through scarcity of presence. Build a rule for delayed commitment. Fast yes decisions often serve other agendas, not your standards. You will ask for criteria, timelines, and accountability structures. You will not accept moving targets disguised as opportunities. Moving targets generate endless urgency and destroy your internal order. Internal order is the engine behind apparent ease. Without order, you start reacting, and reaction cells control cheaply. With order, you select battles where small effort moves large structures. Train the art of clean refusal. A clean refusal is short, calm, and free of justification. You simply state, this does not meet our standard today. Then you hold silence while pressure tries to reshape your boundary. If pressure repeats, you repeat the same sentence verbatim once more. Repetition signals finality. Finality teaches respect without argument. Respect earned through boundary consistency arrives faster than respect demanded. This is compounding authority, the quiet engine of swift power. Shift your attention from reputation to positioning. Reputation is what people say. Positioning is where decisions must pass. You will choose environments where your standards are infrastructure, not decoration. If the environment punishes standards, you exit early without guilt. Exiting early protects future bandwidth for aligned arenas. Power accelerates when friction lowers and alignment rises. Alignment means your values, goals, and rules do not fight daily. Less inner friction creates more available leverage for precise moves. Detect the three classic levers of hidden control. First is urgency, designed to compress your thinking and force errors. Second is ambiguity, designed to keep measurements vague and unaccountable. Third is approval threat, designed to bend your standards through social fear. Answer urgency with time expansion through calm pauses and staged steps. Answer ambiguity with definitions, scope, and measurable checkpoints. Answer approval threats with value clarity and attention control. Attention is your currency. Never spend it to buy relief. Spend it only to buy structure, alignment, and leverage. Use the principle of asymmetric effort. Search for moves where your smallest action changes the largest variable. Examples include setting entry conditions, deciding review cadence, or defining success language. Language shapes evaluation. Evaluation shapes future invitations. The one who writes the measuring stick rarely needs to raise their voice. You will become the writer of measuring sticks in every engagement. This is framing with responsibility, not framing for domination. Responsibility stabilizes systems, and stable systems reward you with influence. Separate stimulus from story with disciplined thinking. Stimulus is what occurred, story is the meaning you assigned. Most pain multiplies inside story loops and not inside facts. You will use neutral labels for internal sensations first. Say heat in chest, speed in breath, narrowing in focus. Naming converts chaos into information, and information becomes design power. Designed responses look effortless because the hard work occurs invisibly. The audience sees grace and assumes luck. You know it is architecture. Create compartments for repeated emotional triggers. Each compartment holds a pattern that once stole your clarity. You extract lessons and write a single rule for each pattern. For example, never accept deadlines without scope and verification. Or never discuss decisions while adrenaline is high. Rules remove guesswork during storms and prevent expensive mistakes. Fewer mistakes equal faster trust, and faster trust equals faster elevation. Elevation is acceleration without display, which is the ultimate efficiency. Master the signal of time ownership. Speak slightly slower than others during tension spikes. Slow pace says you are not afraid of silence or outcome. People calibrate to your tempo and start borrowing your calm. Borrowed calm becomes dependency, and dependency becomes influence. You never abuse dependency, you convert it into shared structure. Shared structure reduces drama, and reduced drama speeds execution. Fast execution with low drama creates a reputation for inevitability. Inevitability is the brand of quiet power across all arenas. Adopt the discipline of informational staging. Release information in layers that match demonstrated responsibility. Early layers are simple, later layers reveal leverage and risk. Staging protects you from opportunists and rewards genuine partners. Partners who respect pacing become long-term assets. Assets that endure reduce future effort and magnify present results. Your network becomes a lattice, not a crowd. Lattices carry weight, crowds demand attention. Choose lattices, and you will move faster by seeming to do less. Build credibility through consistency under observation. People trust what remains the same when pressure rises. Keep your tone steady, your words concise, and your standards unchanged. Let outcomes speak while you remain minimal in display. When results arrive, avoid claiming credit loudly. Silence after success is read as confidence, not fear. Others will volunteer your contribution because humans reward stable anchors. Anchors are rare, and rarity accelerates status without pleading. Practice emotional minimalism in praise and insult. Accept praise without attachment, and note insults without retaliation. Both are attention hooks that seek to steer your state. You will not let external feedback define internal baseline. Baselines defined within are harder to hijack from outside. Hard to hijack means easy to trust. Easy to trust means fast invitations to high-leverage rooms. In those rooms, your calm voice will carry multiplied weight. Define your personal non-negotiables in clear language. Non-negotiables are the few principles you will not trade for speed. When you live them publicly, people coordinate around you faster. Coordination saves time, and saved time compounds power. Clarity attracts the aligned and repels the chaotic without conversation. Let clarity do the filtering while you conserve attention for creation. Creation needs deep focus, and deep focus hates surveillance by noise. Protect focus like money, because it buys every future advantage. Engineer your exit protocols with dignity. When standards are repeatedly ignored, you leave cleanly and early. A clean exit is a power move because it teaches limits. Limits teach others how to approach you next time. Every boundary you keep today reduces future negotiation costs. Reduced costs equal faster movement across projects and alliances. Fast movement feels like power even before numbers appear. Eventually numbers follow because structure invites scale. Remember the hidden loop behind real authority. Calm creates clarity, clarity creates consistency, consistency creates trust. Trust creates speed, speed creates advantage, advantage creates more calm. Feed this loop by taking one small disciplined action daily. The action is selected from your rules, not from mood. Mood is weather, rules are architecture. Architecture stands through weather and holds the roof when storms arrive. That is why your effort will look like ease to outsiders. Now compress this manual into a single operational code. Control your state before you touch any strategy. Define the frame before you accept any invitation. Guard attention like currency and spend it for structure. Prefer clarity over charm and rhythm over volume. Repeat boundaries without anger and exit early when standards break. Offer empathy without attachment and leadership without display. Measure by alignment, not applause, and pace by breath, not pressure. Do this daily, and your rise will look like natural gravity. The fastest way to gain power is removing everything that leaks it. You will not add noise, you will subtract chaos. You will not chase validation, you will build predictable results. You will not collect followers, you will cultivate stable allies. Power grows in the space you protect from unnecessary heat. Protect that space, and your influence will arrive ahead of your effort. People will ask why the path opens so quickly for you. You will smile quietly, because the answer is already inside your posture. You have the framework, you have the rails, you have the breath. The next move decides whether this remains theory or becomes muscle memory. When the next test arrives, you will slow time and hold frame. The room will speed up, your voice will slow down, the outcome will tilt. And then a final pattern will appear that few ever notice. Are you ready to see the hidden permission that turns restraint into unstoppable momentum? You think power is taken, but real power is quietly invited. Those who seem to control everything rarely demand it. They simply design an atmosphere where others surrender control willingly. To understand this, you must unlearn the idea that dominance equals influence. Dominance creates resistance, and resistance burns time and energy. Influence removes resistance by aligning minds before words are spoken. You cannot command what you have not aligned. And alignment begins with emotion, not authority. People follow who regulates their emotional state better than they can. If your calm lowers their anxiety, your presence becomes their anchor. Anchors are magnets in human systems, quiet, invisible, and unavoidable. The first mechanism of fast power is emotional regulation visibility. When chaos spreads, you do not explain peace, you demonstrate it. A still body and stable tone create psychological gravity. Gravity needs no announcement, it silently shapes the orbit of others. Every sigh you avoid, every word you measure, every pause you hold. These are signals of control that bypass logic and reach instinct. Instinct feels safety before reason finds language. Safety is addictive, and people return to what regulates them. This is how composure becomes the fastest shortcut to authority. But to keep composure under pressure, you must master energy loops. Energy loops are repeated emotional patterns between people. For example, anger seeks matching anger, chaos seeks matching chaos. Whoever breaks the loop without losing clarity gains invisible dominance. You break loops through still observation. The observer role makes you emotionally uncatchable. Uncatchable minds confuse manipulators because they cannot predict rhythm. And what cannot be predicted cannot be controlled. Understand the architecture of perceived control. Control is not about volume, it is about expectation management. You manage expectations by defining pace early in interactions. If you start slow, you teach patience. If you start fast, you teach anxiety. Your first 10 seconds in any exchange set emotional gravity for minutes. Speak slow, breathe steady, and leave short gaps before responding. The gaps make your presence feel like measurement, not reaction. Measurement creates hierarchy automatically because humans trust the calm assessor. You become the one who defines rhythm without ever asking for control. Your next secret lever is detachment from identity defense. Most people waste influence defending image during small frictions. They need to look right, clever, or respected. But image defense converts composure into performance. Performance breaks presence, and broken presence leaks power. When someone questions you, resist proving yourself. Truth does not rush to defend itself, it simply continues existing. Respond with structure, not emotion. Say, let us verify outcomes, not opinions. Each time you do this, your voice rewrites the frame. Frames are invisible laws that decide who leads without titles. Frames are changed not by argument, but by tone ownership. Owning tone means your emotional rhythm dictates the room's pace. If your tone stays grounded while others rise, you own the frame. Every group unconsciously mirrors the person who refuses panic. Refuse panic long enough, and you silently inherit authority. The secret here is physiological leadership. Your body leads before your words. So train your breath before you train persuasion. A steady breath turns anxiety into clarity faster than logic ever can. The second principle of invisible acceleration is information pacing. You must learn when not to speak more than what to say. Information held creates anticipation, and anticipation feels like importance. Every strategist uses this tension carefully. Release only what guides alignment or secures structure. Silence protects power because curiosity fills it with imagined weight. People imagine depth where words are withheld. That imagined depth becomes perceived intelligence. Perception of intelligence grows faster than proof of intelligence. You become what they project, not what you explain. Watch how manipulators weaponize urgency. They compress your thinking space by forcing immediate response. Every fast demand is a test of your internal hierarchy. When you pause instead of rushing, their tactic collapses. Pause is not delay, it is recalibration. You breathe once, slow your heart rate, and reframe the moment. Reframing means you turn urgency into structure. Say, I decide best when outcomes are defined clearly. The phrase reclaims tempo, and tempo reclaims authority. Speeding others while staying slow multiplies your leverage silently. Now learn the principle of informational asymmetry. He who controls information flow controls perception of control. You do not need all knowledge, you need timing of knowledge. When to speak matters more than what you know. Reveal insights when attention is quiet, not when noise dominates. Quiet attention amplifies your words tenfold. This creates illusion of foresight because your calm timing feels divine. Divine timing is not luck, it is restraint sharpened by awareness. You will start recognizing when others leak data through impatience. Each leak is a window to their motive, each pause protects yours. But power built on control alone burns fast. You must mix discipline with precision empathy. Precision empathy means reading emotion without drowning in it. You mirror just enough to establish connection, then guide tone upward. People crave direction when lost in reaction. Your calm mirror becomes their exit. Exit equals relief, and relief equals loyalty. Loyalty gained from relief is faster and deeper than loyalty gained from fear. This is why emotional precision accelerates authority faster than command. Do not confuse minimalism with distance. Distance kills connection, minimalism refines it. You will speak briefly but fully, every word carrying exact intention. Intention without clutter sounds like strength. Clutter sounds like fear of silence. Never fear silence. Silence magnifies meaning. When your pauses are steady, your presence feels designed. Designed presence looks like power to the untrained eye. And perception of design becomes influence without explanation. Next, train the posture of response delay. Delay means not answering impulses immediately. Every 3 seconds of delay multiplies clarity. In those seconds, your body recalculates from emotion to structure. Structure always beats emotion in long-term influence. You decide once emotion settles, and decision made in clarity stays irreversible. Irreversibility signals conviction, and conviction triggers respect. People follow conviction even when they disagree. They sense you are not bending for approval, and that realization accelerates trust. Understand the law of reciprocity inversion. Normally, people gain favor by giving energy or approval. You will invert it, gain favor by giving structure. Say less emotional comfort, give more emotional safety through predictability. Predictability is modern luxury, chaos is modern fatigue. If you become predictable in your rhythm, you become rare. Rarity shortens paths to influence because humans crave reliable anchors. Anchors rise quickly in social hierarchies without asking. To accelerate power ethically, practice the dual focus, self-observation and pattern reading. Self-observation protects you from internal sabotage. Pattern reading protects you from external traps. You will watch your sensations like data points, not drama. You will watch others, repetitions as systems, not personalities. This detachment keeps emotional neutrality during games of power. Neutrality shortens your climb because you avoid reaction losses. Reaction loss is the biggest delay in every influence system. And so the real shortcut to power is subtraction, not addition. You will not add tactics, you will remove leaks. Every emotional leak sealed is a ladder step gained. Every unnecessary explanation removed is a door opened faster. Every unneeded argument skipped saves weeks of invisible repair. Power builds not from action, but from disciplined inaction. The power others chase is already leaking through their overreaction. Yours will grow quietly through calm containment. But there is one final layer most never reach. You can master your tone, your silence, your timing, yet lose power internally. Because deep inside, another system still controls you, the craving for recognition. Can you hold your calm when nobody sees, praises, or validates it? Because if your stillness depends on witness, it was never real power. So the question remains, can you stay unshaken even when invisibility becomes your stage? You think power is about being seen, but the real masters move unseen. They shape the flow while pretending to follow it. What you call coincidence is often design hidden beneath calm faces. The reason quiet people rise faster is because they understand attention economy. Attention looks valuable, but it is also surveillance. The more eyes on you, the less freedom you have to maneuver. True power grows best in low light. It matures before exposure. You reveal only when the outcome is irreversible. That is why those who announce early lose leverage early. The silent operator collects data, while the loud one collects resistance. Resistance wastes time, data creates control. Understand this first principle. Visibility is vulnerability until stability exists. Stability means your internal world cannot be shaken by external reaction. If you still need validation, exposure becomes poison. So power begins with emotional privacy. You will not share intentions until they crystallize into plans. You will not announce direction until movement already started. Each withheld detail stores energy. The stored energy becomes momentum that surprises observers. Surprise is leverage because it interrupts others' rhythm. And rhythm disruption resets hierarchy instantly. The second law of fast influence is predictability of calm under pressure. People do not follow charisma, they follow emotional certainty. If you remain stable in chaos, you become reference for everyone else's state. Your body teaches safety before your mouth speaks logic. This biological recognition of stability is older than civilization itself. Humans trust rhythm more than truth. Your slow breathing, measured tone, and balanced gaze become a silent signal. That signal spreads control without visible authority. The group will unconsciously synchronize to your energy field. Whoever controls rhythm controls outcome. Observe the pattern of energy drainage in ordinary interactions. Most people leak power trying to be understood. They over-explain to prove clarity and lose mystery in the process. But clarity without mystery loses influence. Mystery creates anticipation, and anticipation sustains relevance. You must learn to balance both. Say enough for progress, but never enough for prediction. When people cannot predict your next step, they must adapt to you. Adaptation consumes their energy while preserving yours. Energy preserved equals time multiplied, and time multiplied equals acceleration. Your next leverage tool is emotional redirection. People will project their moods onto you to control the atmosphere. If you absorb it, you mirror their rhythm and lose the frame. Instead, redirect it with neutral acknowledgement. Say, "I hear you," then pivot to structure. Structure dissolves emotion because it shifts focus from feeling to function. When you pivot calmly, you make others borrow your tone. That is hidden leadership. They follow not because you commanded, but because your balance feels safer. This safety-based power cannot be faked, it must be practiced. Practice begins in micro-interactions, moments most people ignore. Like holding silence when others rush to fill space. Like keeping your breath slow during disagreement. Like ending sentences before emotion finishes speaking for you. Each micro-choice builds neural discipline. Discipline becomes aura, and aura becomes perceived strength. People sense it without knowing why they defer. It is not manipulation, it is mastery of nervous system hierarchy. Your presence is a feedback loop. How you feel creates micro-signals that train others how to treat you. When your baseline is calm certainty, people mirror respect automatically. You will not demand it, they will offer it to preserve balance. This is the psychology behind effortless power. You do not push influence outward, it radiates inward control. Every emotion you manage internally shapes invisible authority externally. Control of self writes the laws of interaction around you. To gain power faster, stop competing for spotlight energy. Spotlight energy looks bright but drains fast. Shadow energy, the quiet force of alignment, lasts longer. You align systems, not emotions. Systems mean boundaries, schedules, and expectations that protect your mind. Protecting mind space creates compounding clarity. Clarity allows faster decision-making, and fast decision-making appears genius. Genius is usually structure multiplied by composure. Build structure first, maintain composure next, and you will look twice as capable. Appearance of capability becomes authority even before proof arrives. The manipulator understands these laws, but uses them in reverse. They hijack your attention with rhythm spikes, urgent tone, emotional bait, forced intimacy. Their goal is to reset your internal clock. Once you start matching their speed, your clarity fades. Slow them down instead. Every second you pause increases your psychological distance. Distance kills emotional infection. You cannot be controlled if you refuse to share tempo. Slowness is your shield, not your weakness. Notice how people measure strength today, through volume, speed, and display. But true power never competes on the same metrics. It wins by changing what the game rewards. When you reward silence, patience, and logic, chaos loses currency. Most of society is addicted to reaction. If you remain still, you look like a higher authority by contrast. Contrast magnifies credibility even if you say little. Your restraint becomes spectacle in a world of noise. and spectators become followers because stillness feels like command. The architecture of power has three pillars: composure, perception, and timing. Composure stabilizes emotion, perception manages image, timing decides impact. Speak only when emotion inside you feels neutral. Speak only when the environment's noise has peaked. Speak only when your words will sound like conclusion, not contribution. People remember the last calm voice, not the first loud one. That is the paradox of communication. The later you speak, the deeper you seem. Next, master your withdrawal strategy. Fast power does not grow from more involvement. It grows from selective retreat. You withdraw from conversations that no longer serve structure. You withdraw from debates that exist to drain focus. You withdraw from emotional loops where reason cannot enter. Withdrawal is not surrender, it is resource management. Those who conserve focus move further while others fight noise. Every ignored distraction shortens the distance to influence. Speed through silence is still speed. There is also a principle called neutral dominance. It means holding space so steadily that others conform naturally. You do not outargue, you outlast. The human nervous system prefers synchronization to conflict. If you stay neutral long enough, opposition burns itself out. Then your calm becomes the only surviving structure, and everyone reorganizes around it as if it was the plan all along. This illusion of inevitability makes power look effortless. Power psychology is never about shortcuts, it is about removal of resistance. Every piece of resistance removed multiplies results. Most people add tactics and lose speed. You will remove friction, and acceleration will appear automatic. Remove inner conflict by aligning rules to actions. Remove emotional clutter by naming feelings quickly and moving forward. Remove external traps by saying less than you know. This subtraction builds compounding trust because consistency feels fast. Remember the paradox that defines this path. You cannot chase power and reach it fast. You only reach it by becoming the kind of mind others trust with theirs. Trust is the currency that moves faster than fear. Fear forces movement, trust invites surrender. You want surrender, not obedience. Obedience fades when unseen. Surrender lasts even in your absence. That is why power built on calm outlives power built on control. So slow down, breathe once, and watch who tries to rush you next. If you stay still and they grow louder, they just revealed their weakness. And in that revelation lies your next quiet step forward. But there is a deeper pattern hiding beneath all of this. What if speed itself is a trap designed to test your focus? Would you still choose calm, knowing it might make you unstoppable? You think power grows from control, but the truth is subtler. The real masters do not chase control, they dissolve the need for it. Once control disappears, influence becomes automatic. Every mind ruled by fear of loss clings to control. Every mind free from fear becomes magnetic. Fear creates noise, freedom creates rhythm. Your goal is not dominance, it is rhythm control. The ability to move through any situation without internal interruption. When your rhythm stays intact, chaos cannot rewrite your direction. This rhythm mastery begins with emotional detachment from reaction. You stop chasing fairness, validation, or victory in small exchanges. You focus only on maintaining state. State means emotional temperature, breathing depth, and attention precision. As long as your state remains unshaken, external outcomes cannot enslave you. This is the inner speed no one sees, the calm that decides timing. You respond when energy is low, you move when noise is high. That is how invisible dominance forms. Understand that the fastest way to gain power is to remove emotional hooks. Hooks are expectations that keep you reactive. The need to be liked, the fear of rejection, the hunger for recognition. Each hook leaks energy, each leak slows elevation. The moment you detach from them, you become unpredictable. Unpredictable minds are untouchable because scripts fail on them. When scripts fail, manipulation collapses. And when manipulation collapses, power shifts silently back to you. Next, learn to convert resistance into reflection. When someone challenges you, do not defend, observe. Defense wastes energy on noise. Observation turns it into data. You ask what fear made them react this way. You ask what rhythm are they trying to impose. These silent questions shift the frame from personal to strategic. Strategic perception dissolves emotional pressure. Now, instead of reacting, you can redesign the flow itself. Redesigning flow is leadership disguised as listening. You must also master the illusion of concession. Sometimes power grows faster when you appear to step back. Apparent surrender disarms ego. Ego expects resistance, not composure. When you yield calmly, others relax their guard. Inside that relaxation lies information, and information is leverage. You then move later with precision, not force. Precision replaces argument. Outcome replaces explanation. The observer sees you winning without trying. But the truth is, you were designing while they were defending. Real acceleration begins when your ego retires. Ego wastes power proving position. But proof is noise, consistency is evidence. You no longer announce what you will do, you simply do it quietly. Actions that align repeatedly create inevitability. Inevitability feels like authority to others because it removes doubt. When doubt disappears, followership becomes voluntary. Voluntary alignment is the purest form of control because it requires none. Understand this, fast power is not gained through effort, it is preserved through stillness. The more still your inner world, the faster your external world aligns. The chaotic chase movement, the calm attract it. You will stop running after opportunities and start creating conditions for them. Conditions attract outcomes faster than ambition. You are not forcing progress, you are clearing friction. Frictionless systems move with silent acceleration. Others call it luck, but it is clarity applied with patience. Now learn the final law, the paradox of invisibility. When people cannot read you, they must interpret you. Interpretation breeds fascination. Fascination breeds influence. But invisibility does not mean absence. It means controlled visibility. You appear only when your presence changes the trajectory. You disappear when the environment becomes emotional or chaotic. This unpredictability makes your presence heavy with significance. Few words, rare appearances, consistent composure. These three patterns form the architecture of power that feels effortless. But power is not the end of this manual. Once you master stillness, influence, and rhythm, a deeper layer appears. You realize power was never about others. It was about energy direction. Your attention was the empire, and every leak was a lost territory. You were never gaining control, you were reclaiming focus. When focus returns fully, power becomes redundant. You no longer need to dominate, because everything responds to clarity. Your calm becomes instruction, your silence becomes leadership. You are no longer competing for control, you are setting the emotional climate. From this space, decisions feel simple. You no longer force outcomes, they gravitate toward your state. Because the human nervous system trusts stability more than authority. Stability radiates from you when ego no longer edits your calm. You have reached the fastest route to power, removing the noise that slowed you. No performance, no manipulation, no hunger for spotlight. Just rhythm, clarity, and silence shaping the atmosphere. People will misread you. They will say you are lucky, detached, or calculating. They will not understand that your discipline is invisible and constant. They will not see the hours of pause between thought and action. But that misunderstanding protects your edge. Because mystery is the final currency of influence. Mystery keeps control untraceable, and untraceable power never decays. So when chaos surrounds you again, do not rush to speak. Watch the room's rhythm collapse under its own speed. Breathe once, lower your tone, and let silence rearrange the noise. The next voice to speak will set the new frame. Make sure it is yours. And when it is, let calm guide it, not pride. Because the moment pride enters, stillness breaks and power leaks again. This is the hidden design you were never taught. You gain power not by chasing control, but by mastering calm. Not by fighting chaos, but by dissolving it. Not by rising faster, but by leaking slower. And now you know the truth. The fastest way to gain power is to stop trying to look powerful at all.